Hello everyone and welcome to the weird, scary and horrible parts of humanity. Today we are continuing our look into the Bali 9 in alphabetical order and looking at the only member of the Bali 9 who is free, Renae Lawrence. Renae Lawrence was born on the 11th of October 1977 and is the only female member of the Bali 9. She was born in Newcastle, New South Wales, Australia, the second biggest city in New South Wales, and lived with her female partner who was 10 years her senior. After the relationship ended, she moved back in with her mother and stepfather. Initially employed as a trainee panel beater with a smash repair company, she later gained employment at Urest, the largest contract food service company in the world, which is now Compass Group. She worked in logistics and earned approximately $600 a week. There, her supervisor was Andrew Chan, one of the ringleaders of the Bali 9, and it was during her work at Urest that she met fellow Bali 9 members Martin Stevens and Matthew Norman. In early October 2004, Lawrence was invited to the home of Chan's parents in Enfield, Sydney, in order to celebrate her upcoming 27th birthday. Chan told her that she was to travel to Bali, Indonesia, but was not told the reason and was told that Chan would cover all flights and accommodation. However, she was informed by Chan that if she disobeyed him, he would send her family to the farm, and noted that she would be rewarded for following instructions. Around this time, she also met the other ringleader of the Bali 9, Mayurun Sukumaran. Chan and Sukumaran gave Lawrence $100 for an airfare deposit to Bali before giving her $1,080 on the 9th of October to purchase an airline ticket. On the 16th of October 2004, Lawrence flew to Bali on a false passport, with Chan entering Bali on the same day on a different flight with his girlfriend Grace. Chan stayed at the Hard Rock complex while Lawrence stayed at the Istana Rama Hotel in Kuta. On the 22nd of October 2004, Sukumaran attached packages of heroin to the bodies of Lawrence and Chan, as well as Lawrence's back. The two, together with Grace, boarded an Australian Airlines Boeing 767 to Sydney. They cleared customs and were met at Sydney Airport by a man who she identified as Jay. She was taken into a car with two other people called Jackie and Daniel, and she was given a pair of scissors, cut the heroin packets free and handed them to Jay. Taken to Daniel's house, Lawrence then went home, and Chan told her to come over to his house later that day. He handed her an envelope with $10,000 cash, and she alleged that it was to keep her mouth shut, and told not to put it into the bank all at once and not to say anything to anyone. Lawrence saw this as an easy payday and agreed to go again. Another trip was organised, and Lawrence, as well as Chan and future Bali 9 members Matthew Norman and Tan Duc Van Nguyen, who went by the alias of David, left Sydney on the 5th of December 2004. Lawrence was given $2,000 to purchase flights and accommodation for 8 days, staying again at the Istana Rama in Kuta. However, the second operation did not go as planned due to what Lawrence described as a financial matter or someone knowing about the plan, and the shipment was aborted. As a result, she returned back to Australia empty-handed. On the 26th of March 2005, Lawrence and Matthew Norman were arrested for car theft, driving unlicensed and exceeding the speed limit by 40 kilometres along the Pacific Highway in a stolen vehicle, and failing to stop for police, which necessitated for the New South Wales Police to use road spikes. She was due to appear on the 26th of April 2005 in the Gosford Magistrates Court, but would not appear for more than 13 years. On the 5th of April 2005, Lawrence met with Sukumaran, Stevens and Chen at the Formula One Hotel Enfield, now the Ibis Budget, with drug smuggling tools including sealable plastic bags, medical tape, elastic waistbands and skin-tight bike shorts. Stevens claimed that his life was threatened during this meeting. However, Lawrence merely claimed that they were given cash. One day later, on the 6th of April 2005, Lawrence departed for Bali, and she was in daily contact with Chan until the 13th of April, when he changed his phone number, and on the same day he instructed Lawrence and other members of the Bali 9 to change hotels, with Chan changing the original departure date of the 14th of April, as he suspected that Australian and Indonesian police were aware of the drug smuggling operation. In reality, Chan did not know that Indonesian and Australian authorities were already onto the Bali 9. The father of Scott Rush, Lee Rush, contacted the Australian Federal Police fearing that his son was travelling to Bali to commit a drug-related crime, and received assurance from the Australian Federal Police that his son was under surveillance to dissuade him from going through with the crime, and that he would not be able to board the flight to Bali. However, the AFP never contacted Rush directly and instead alerted Indonesian police that a crime was going to be committed 2 weeks before the arrests, with the AFP having launched an investigation approximately 10 weeks before the arrests. So in essence, regardless of what Chan did, Lawence's fate was doomed from when she left Sydney. On the 8th of April, from her hotel room, Lawence tried through a Nokia phone to get hold of Norman, calling him 39 times, and every time it went through to voicemail before sending 24 text messages with 18 replies. The pair talked throughout the afternoon, evening, and until midnight. On the 17th of April 2005, Lawence left for Nuga International Airport in Denpasar, Bali, with 2.689 kilograms of heroin strapped to her legs and chest, concealed under her clothing, and was arrested at the same time as Scott Rush, Michael Suzukaj and Martin Stevens while in the international departures area. She told police and security staff, "Get this stuff off me," and when asked who owns it, she replied Andrew Chan and said that they would find him in the airport. Andrew Chan was taken off an Australian Airlines Boeing 767 bound for Sydney, and while no drugs were found on him, as he only had 3 mobile phones and his Australian Airlines boarding pass, Indonesian authorities had enough evidence to link him to the drug syndicate. At the time of their arrest, Stevens spoke with Lawence, who asked her, "Should we dob them in?" Lawence replied, "By dobbing some other fuck, I'm not killing my family, and what's the point anyway? Because if we dob them in, we dob them in, they kill our family, and then we're dead anyway. So why? Don't tell them, and they'll just kill us instead and leave our families alone." Upon their arrest, Fairfax Media interviewed numerous parents of the Bali 9, and the only ones to express absolutely no surprise at their child's arrest was Lawence's father, stating that she was a naive and unworldly child. During her interrogation, Lawence claimed that she had her life threatened by Chan if she did not proceed to import the drugs. She also claimed that she was offered $15,000 for the drug smuggling run, but later retracted her statement. In an interview with the ABC's foreign correspondent, Matthew Norman noted that he was offered $15,000 for the drug run, hence this amount would appear accurate. She allegedly said that she was going to give part of the money to her parents, and she was going to buy a ute and some retread tyres with the rest of the money. Lawence rejected police allegations that she had previously travelled to Bali on a false passport. Her trial began on the 14th of October 2005, with her lawyer admitting that she didn't stand much of a chance but did not deserve the death penalty as she was merely a mule. She claimed that she had drugs strapped to her body by Chan Sukumaran, and a third ringleader of the Bali 9 alleged to have been Tan Duc Phan Nguyen. In December 2005, tensions began building between Andrew Chan and Myron Sukumaran and the remaining 7 members of the Bali 9. Lawyers acting for some members of the Bali 9 sought the support of the Australian Director of Public Prosecutions to intervene and lay charges for conspiracy to import drugs into Australia so that the 9 could be extradited and charged under Australian law. However, judges called for the Australian government not to intervene. Suzukaj and Rush claimed that they had never met Lawence or Stevens until they were arrested at Nuga Airport, something which Lawence denied during her trial. In a bizarre claim, Chan alleged that Lawence was the ringleader and that Lawence had given him 1 million Indonesian rupee, about $97, to transport a suitcase full of heroin to the Melasti Hotel, which is where the so-called Melasti 3, Si Yi Chen, Tan Duc Phan Nguyen, and Matthew Norman, as well as eventually Myron Sukumaran, were arrested. Central to Lawrence's defence was her fear of Chan and allegations that he was threatening her family if she did not traffic the drugs into Australia. While in prison, her family was unable to visit her often, and she was prone to loneliness and depression. In 2005, she attempted suicide twice in prison, one of which left her with a broken arm, and both occurred when she learned that Andrew Chan was to be moved to the same prison. Even before her sentencing, she seemed resolved that she would be in Kerobokan prison for a long time, stating, "I won't be going home for a very long time." On the 8th of January 2006, she stated to the Denpasar District Court, "I would like to say to you and your country that I am sincerely sorry for what I have done. I need you to understand why I did it and ask for the mercy of this court. I am guilty of carrying this stuff to Australia, but I'm not guilty of owning, selling or anything else because Andrew Chan owns it, not me. Her lawyers called for a 20-year sentence based on her cooperation with investigators and snitching on the ringleaders. However, her pleas fell on deaf ears, with judges finding no evidence that her life had been threatened and called them excuses. On the 13th of February 2006, together with Scott Rush, Lawence was sentenced to life imprisonment. At first stunned and then in tears, she said regarding herself, someone should have kept their mouth shut, telling her father Bob that the sentence should have gone down, not up. I gave them all the information. She believed that as a result, this would have gotten her a lighter sentence. She allegedly scoffed at Rush. Bastard, it's all because of your lawyers. On the 26th of April 2006, in an appeal to the original sentence at the Indonesian Supreme Court, Lawrence's sentence was reduced to 20 years in prison, mainly because of her cooperation with Indonesian authorities. In June 2006, she claimed that she had a Balinese girlfriend with whom she shared a prison cell. Lawrence served his sentence in Kerbaukan prison and developed a close but often fraught relationship with fellow Australian drug smuggler Schapelle Corby, an Australian convicted of smuggling 4.2 kilograms of cannabis into Bali inside her bodyboard bag and serving a 20-year sentence before being released on parole on the 10th of February 2014. In an interview with the Women's Day magazine, Lawrence said that she was appointed to care for Corby and saw her mental health gradually deteriorate. However, in a further interview in 2014 with 10 Eyewitness News, now 10 News First, Lawrence claimed that Corby had confided in her that she was guilty of drug trafficking. While in prison, she took on gardening as a form of therapy and maintained her own prison garden. She also noted that she became trusted by prison officers to assist in everyday chores, learned to speak and write Bahasa Indonesian relatively well, and stated that she made a few good friends amongst the prisoners, their visitors and some of the prison staff. Following the execution of Sukumaran and Chan, she told Fairfax Media that she was deeply affected by the execution of both men and hoped that she would be released from prison soon. Lawrence's sentence was gradually reduced on both religious holidays and Indonesia's Independence Day. Transferred from Kerbaukan prison, she was sent to Negara prison before ending up at Bangli prison in 2014. In 2012, she met her girlfriend Agus Emma Wijayanti, who was sentenced for possession of methamphetamine. The pair became inmates at Bangli prison. Allegedly, Lawrence was spoiled like a child by Wijayanti. In November 2018, Lawrence had her sentence commuted and was released, deported to Australia on the 21st of November 2018, flying first to Brisbane, Queensland, and then transiting to Newcastle, New South Wales. While in Brisbane, she was hounded by reporters who noted that she seemed both dazed and confused while transiting from Brisbane's international to domestic terminal. Upon arrival in Newcastle, she ran as fast as she could, pushing a photographer out of her way, ran out to her family's truck, put a towel over the passenger window where she was sitting, and the family drove off. 24 hours after Lawrence was released, speaking to Fairfax Media, Matthew Norman said that he wished Lawrence all the best of luck, but admitted that he had to focus on himself and his life sentence. She handed herself in to the New South Wales Police regarding her traffic violations and was released on bail, with the next hearing at the Newcastle local court on the 6th of December 2018, before the case was adjourned until the 17th of January 2019. Her lawyers alleged that she was suffering from anxiety and depression and was in need of psychiatric care. On the 1st of February 2019, her lawyers entered a guilty plea. She was given a $1,000 fine and a 12-month community corrections order. In January 2021, Lawrence told New Idea magazine that she remained close to Wijayanti, speaks to her every day, and she has entertained the idea of getting married to her, but admitted that the COVID pandemic had put those thoughts on the back burner. She also stated that she is dealing with mental and physical health issues and does not work, but hopes one day to be back in the workforce and find normality, even though finding a job because of her criminal history has become impossible. Still living in Newcastle, she has been accosted by members of the public who do not feel that she deserves her freedom. Lawrence continues to plead for the remaining 5 members of the Bali Nine, Chen, Struzulkaj, Norman, Rush and Stevens to have their life sentences commuted, and told New Idea that having the remaining 5 locked up for life is akin to a death sentence. She reiterated this at a press conference in Canberra in February 2020, stating in a statement aimed at Indonesian President Joko Widodo and Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison, "We all did something stupid, we all regret it, but everybody deserves a second chance. If this doesn't happen, they have got no hope. They'll lose hope, and the end will be devastating." She has suggested both a reduced sentence as well as a potential prison swap for the remaining members of the Bali 9. Thank you for watching. Please do yourself a favour and hit that subscribe button as well as the bell icon to inform you of when new videos come out. Also, why not hit that like button and leave a nice comment? It helps more than you know and your support is truly appreciated. Until next time, stay awesome, stay classy, be kind to everyone you meet, have an amazing day, and remember that truth is always more interesting than fiction.